Excuse me, sir. I'm from the Figueroa Street Clinic. We got a call that a nurse was needed.
Oh, she is. Urgently. I'll take care of this. James?
Yes, sir.
Don't be angry.
Mason, the clinic was busy. I left people there who needed care because I thought there was a crisis here.
There is. My life is falling apart, and I don't know why. Did I dream what happened between us? We were talking about marriage. My life finally had some direction. It had some meaning. Now, all of a sudden... Will you stay with me just a minute? We don't have to talk about Mark or marriage or anything else. Just stay with me.
No, I have to get back.
You didn't get somebody to cover for you at the clinic? I bet you did. You did.
Mason, I have to call in and tell them it was a false alarm and see if they still need me there.
I'll wait. And they won't.
Look out for Brandon for me. I love you.
Gina.
Leave me alone, you let go of me!
Not until you tell us what the hell is going on up here.
Where's Cruz?
And we heard there was a
Have you
shooting.
seen him? Is he all right?
Gina, tell us what happened. Eden could be hurt. If you know something, tell us now. Everybody okay here?
Everything's fine! Cuff him! Get up!
Michael!
Sheila, I don't believe this.
When you disappeared, we just assumed you...
Me? Dead? Never. Live and kicking.
Well, what happened to you?
Oh, not much. Change of name?
Michael, this is incredible.
Yes, I agree. So, how about letting me in? Maybe we can both sort of catch our breath.
I'd like a club soda, please. Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
Meeting someone?
Yes, Pearl, but he's quite late.
Thank you.
Perhaps I have you to thank for that?
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Well, I understand that you keep finding things for him to do.
Whatever Pearl is doing, I can assure you I'm not twisting his arm.
No, you're too busy keeping David from justice. You know, I wish I could understand why you feel this need to defend the man who killed my sister.
I think you know the answer to that, Courtney. Or you should. I think he's innocent.
Well, David always did have a way of converting certain people to his point of view. I'm speaking of impressionable women.
I think I'll ignore that.
You know, I loved my sister. And I hate knowing that the man who killed her is walking around free.
Well, Courtney, we agree on one thing at least. We both want to see justice done. I don't know why you're still so set against David.
Why?
Even Pearl is willing to exercise the possibility that David may be innocent.
Whatever Pearl thinks doesn't have anything to do with what I think. I know what I saw that day in the bungalow.
So do I. And it's not enough to convict anyone. Even David admits to being on the premises. He could have dropped the cigarette when he walked in the bungalow and found Madeline already injured.
Julia, it wasn't dropped. It was deliberately stubbed out. Something I don't think you'd think to do if you were rushing to the side of your injured wife. Well, I guess I'll leave you to your business lunch.
I guess she saw me coming.
She's already made up her mind, and I don't think there's anything that you can do about it.
They say that about juries, too, don't they? Once a jury makes up its mind about halfway through a case, there's nothing even the greatest lawyer on earth can do to change the verdict.
No dire predictions, please. We haven't even selected the jury yet.
Yeah, all I need is a couple of Courtneys sitting there, and I wouldn't have a chance.
All you need is to stop being so pessimistic.
How about being realistic? Look, when it's just the two of us, I feel your belief in me. And it's wonderful. I think we can win. No, I know we can win. Just when I'm with other people, I see the doubt in their eyes. Chances are I'm going to see that in the jury's eyes, too, aren't I? Chances are they're going to come to the same conclusion Courtney did.
Maybe I should sit down.
Nothing like a little old anxiety to get you weak in the knees, eh, Sheila?
I just can't believe my eyes. Now that I get a good look at you, I'm surprised I even recognized you, Michael. This is quite an outfit.
No, it's not an outfit, Sheila. It's who I am now.
I'm not sure what to say.
Nothing much to say. It was my choice, like leaving Boston was my choice.
Michael,
I don't go by that anymore. They call me Pearl. Hey, my trademark. Found it in an oyster one day, figured it was as good a name as any.
your name is Pearl? Really?
Really.
Quite a far cry from Michael B. Bradford III, isn't it?
That was the whole point. Wasn't happy as Michael B. I'm happy now.
I hope so.
So, what about you?
Well, I haven't changed my name. It's still Sheila.
What are you doing in Santa Barbara?
Vacationing. Would you care for a drink? It's so beautiful out here.
You out here to visit anyone?
Like who?
David Laurent.
You know, you're the second person in 15 minutes to ask me about David Laurent.
Oh, is that right? Who was the first?
Some lawyer. He's prosecuting David in this awful murder. He must have left his card here
Don't
somewhere.
bother. Mason Capwell.
You know him.
Well, I'm working on the other side, you might say. A friend of mine is an attorney for the defense.
You work for an attorney.
Well, it's an informal arrangement, but yes, I'm doing a little sleuthing. That's how I happened across your picture. Quite a few pictures, actually, of you and David
Not
together.
the pictures again.
In the bath.
I just went through all of that with that Capwell person. The photographs were manufactured in a laboratory somewhere. Totally fake.
So I heard. So they don't have anything to do with reality, right?
I beg your pardon.
There was nothing going on between you two.
We did business together. We even took a buying trip to the Orient together, but it was purely professional. Look, I think David is a very nice person, and I'm sorry he's in this terrible trouble. But I assume the case against him is very weak if someone's going to all the trouble to doctor photographs and stack the deck.
The case against David Laurent is not weak.
Well, he couldn't have done it. David Laurent isn't capable of killing his wife or anyone else.
Hope you're right. Because my friend the attorney is sort of counting on that. You see, the one thing that would blow her case wide out of the water is if someone decided to drag a lady's skeleton out of the closet. Especially if that skeleton was as pretty as you.
I haven't been hiding in any closet, I assure you. There was no affair.
And you haven't been in contact with David.
I only just arrived. I was in Ojai at a spa for the last few weeks. And no, I hadn't planned on contacting David at all. I don't think we'd have much to say to one another. And I'm sure he's got enough to contend with without renewing any old acquaintances. I just can't believe you're you. You know, I've thought about you often.
Somehow I should be flattered.
Why'd you do it, Michael? Was it what happened with your brother?
It's a long story.
I have all afternoon.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Are you okay? You're bleeding all over.
Look.
You need to go to the hospital.
No.
Yes.
If you're safe, I'm all right.
Rose! Thank God!
Hey.
Oh, thank God!
You all right? I was frantic about you. Come here, come here.
I'm crazy looking for you.
First went to the house and looked for you. You're all right. We found Gina.
After today, I don't ever want to see your face. I don't want to hear your name. Right now, you got some questions to answer. What were you trying to do to my daughter?
I was under the impression that Gina already explained it all. Isn't that right, Ted?
Yeah, she told us you were trying to kill Eden and Cruz.
Is that what you said?
This isn't the first time you try to kill Eden, is it?
You want to talk about attempted murder, CC? Fine! I'll talk about it. How about you, huh, Gina? You want to talk about it, too?
I don't mean to sound like your mother, but how are you going to get big and strong if you don't eat your spinach?
What? Sorry?
It's okay, don't apologize. I didn't cook it. If I did, I can understand why you wouldn't eat it.
Julia, it's less than a week away. What do we have in the way of a defense?
Leave the defense to me. You just worry about your positive attitude.
Well, shouldn't you be, I don't know, going over testimony with me? Preparing me for what you might ask or what the prosecution might ask?
You still got time for that.
When? I feel like we're treading water here. I mean, presumably you're out gathering evidence, screening witnesses, but I never hear about a breakthrough. I never hear about strategy. Look, I'm not saying you're not doing your best, okay?
What are you saying?
I'm saying it's going to take a lot more than a statement from you about my sterling character to convince a jury I didn't kill my wife.
If all I could offer you was a personal endorsement, I would never have taken on the
Well,
case.
you can't offer me a better alibi, can you? You can't offer me that.
Listen to me. I know how hard it is for you to have to put your faith in someone else, but it's going to be okay.
No, it's a cinch compared to the faith you put in me. Look, I should be on my knees to you. And instead, here I am pouring out all my frustration on you, making it seem like it's your fault.
Okay, everybody's entitled to a bad day.
Yeah, well, I don't know if tomorrow's going to be any better. Or the day after that. You know, I woke up this morning and I realized something. There is nothing going to show up that's going to save me.
Don't give up. I'm not going to let you.
There were just something. Some new hope. It might be different.
There might be.
What?
I'm still looking into it.
Julia, tell me.
I stumbled into something. There may be another person who may have had a motive or an objective to kill Maplin. Certainly the opportunity.
Oh.
I can't tell you. It wouldn't be fair to you, and it wouldn't be fair to the other person unless I have stronger indications. But as soon as I get more evidence, I'll let you.
So we have another suspect.
I don't have any more proof than I have against you. But at least if we introduce someone else to the jury, it might put a doubt in their mind.
Well, can't you give me any idea who it is?
No.
Well, is it a man or a woman?
It's a man.
Ah. And obviously you don't look forward to exposing this man. Why?
It's personal.
You know him?
Just don't ask me any more questions, all right? When I'm ready to move on it, I'll let you know. I just have to be very careful before I bring up this person's name. Because when I do, I am going to lose a lot of friends.
I wish I were noble enough to tell you not to use this.
Nobody's that noble.
Least of all me. Does that disappoint you?
No.
Are you always this patient?
Hardly.
You know, maybe I should just shut up and count my blessings.
That's
What do you
a
think?
good idea. A very good idea. You see, you've got your positive attitude back.
Everything I need's right there in your eyes.
Don't give up.
Will you stay with me a while? Don't go back to the office.
How am I going to get my work done?
You're getting your work done. You're working miracles. You're giving your client the confidence to go on. Don't stop now.
All right, I can stay a little while.
Good. But not here. Tired of discussing my most crucial event in my life with a room full of strangers. My room's just downstairs. We'll have more privacy there. Just contact headquarters, tell them everything's okay. And stay by your cars. I'll bring this man out shortly. I just want this.
Daddy, you want to hear Kirk admit that he tried to kill me in the boathouse? All you have to do is listen to that tape.
You've heard this?
Gina played it for me. Kirk was trying to kill her, too.
I don't understand, Kirk. What did Eden or Gina ever do to you? Come on, man, Ted. You never could see what's going on right in front of you, could you?
He thought Cruz and Eden were having an affair, but they weren't.
How can you say that? You saw them, you heard them, what else do you want?
Nobody acted like that, Kirk. They were trying to bring you out in the open. I knew all about it.
Oh, I see. So you're just gonna continue to believe whatever you want to believe. Is that it, Santana?
Eden, you heard this whole thing?
He was in the boathouse that night, and he was up on the catwalk with a rifle. And he told Gina that if she didn't kill me, that he was going to kill both of us.
How could you ever think you could get away with this?
I haven't had the pleasure of hearing the whole thing yet, Kirk. What else is on it?
You want to hear it? Why don't you ask Gina, huh? She's the one that made the tape, isn't that right? You know exactly what's on it, don't you, Gina?
Boy, you...
Come on, why don't you talk to these people? Why don't you tell them exactly what you tried to do to Cece?
Well, let me get the check and we'll get out of here, okay?
All right, can you excuse me just for a moment? I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, what?
I talked to the lady in the photos. Sheila Carlisle was her name.
What'd she say?
Well, the pictures are phony, just like we thought. She told me the relationship with David was strictly business. No hanky-panky.
I knew he was telling me the truth. All right, now what I want to know is what she's doing in town now.
Yeah, sounds kind of convenient, doesn't it?
Well, what was the reason?
Well, she said she was on a vacation.
You don't sound like you believe her.
Oh, come on. She shows up a week before the trial, and then Medieval Mason goes to see her? There's got to be a connection there. You know what I think? I think she's going to testify against David.
All right, well, whatever she does, Mason is going to have to disclose that information to me before the trial.
So we got any more dirt on Lionel?
Yeah. Marty Whitmore saw him coming out of the bungalow on 2 separate occasions.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. I wish I were.
What do you mean? What's the problem? Finally, you've got somebody on the scene who is not your client, so...
Great. He's my ex-brother-in-law. I can't imagine what this is going to do to Augusta. Or to find out that Lionel is involved again with another woman.
Yeah, something more than it vows. I call it kissing her head with a blunt instrument.
No way. Lionel wouldn't do that.
Well, if we think that, then how come we're dragging him around in the mud?
Because maybe we can show that Madeline had some other contacts on the day that she was attacked. That David isn't the only one that had the opportunity to commit that crime. I mean, if Lionel was there, maybe there were other people.
No, that don't sound too surefire, Julie.
Every little bit helps.
You just better make sure of one thing, that David isn't holding back any more surprises about that debutante queen, Sheila Carlisle, okay?
He would tell me if there were any more surprises.
Okay, just because she says there wasn't any affair doesn't mean there wasn't.
Why are you so sure that she's lying?
I'm not so sure that she's lying. I just don't think she's Florence Nightingale.
How long did you talk to her?
5, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh, 5, maybe 10 minutes. So you already know the girl's psyche
I
already?
don't know. I just had a feeling there was something in the air, and I am telling you, she is not the real McCoy, all right? So you do yourself a favor. Ask your client again about her, and this time, really push him.
Well, we're listening, Gina.
Yeah, come on, Gina. I tell him myself, but I'm sure you'd rather put it in your own words. Go ahead, talk to him.
Wait a minute. As bad as I want to hear this, I'm not going to ask you to stand there and incriminate yourself. Now, if you want a lawyer, that's your right. That's yours, too. They read you your rights, didn't they?
No. No, it's gone on too long. If the information has to come out, it might as well be now in front of everybody that's here.
You gotta be sure.
It got out of control. I couldn't stop it. And now I am tired. I am too tired to keep it up.
Go ahead, then.
When I look at Cece, you seem so strong and healthy. And when I think about that period of time when you were in the coma, it all seems like a dream. But when I remember myself, I remember a woman who was frightened, who was desperate, who would do anything. But I changed. I'm different now. I would never let myself get to that point. I would never let myself be so weak again.
Why don't you just tell us what happened,
Because I'm trying to explain the circumstances as they were. You were threatening to take everything away from me, Brandon, everything. And then before that could happen, you were paralyzed. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't move. You couldn't talk. You couldn't hurt me. And all I could think of was how I was going to keep you that way. I dreaded the day that you would wake up and you would dole out your punishment to me. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't sleep at night. I was too scared. And when I did sleep, I woke up with nightmares.
Go on, Gina.
I remembered the promise that Eden made. That if you ever became too helpless and you couldn't take care of yourself, you didn't want to go on. You didn't want her to prolong your life. Well, that seemed like the answer to my dreams. I mean, you'd asked for it. You wanted to die. And Eden couldn't make up her mind. She couldn't decide what was right. And so I decided for her.
What are you saying?
I put on the wig. I had a dress duplicated to look like Eden's, and I knew everybody would think that I was her.
You did it. You stopped the machines.
I thought I was putting everybody out of their misery. You, me, the whole family. I was desperate. I was willing to do anything.
You were willing to frame Eden. That's what you were willing. You were willing to frame my daughter.
She was in the closet, Daddy. When I came into your room that night, I passed out because she drugged me. And she finished what she thought I'd already begun.
I thought it was for the best. I didn't think there was any hope. I thought you were going to go on like that forever. I thought you would be better off.
Don't you dare make it out an act of mercy. It was a cold-blooded act of attempted murder. The plans, the pains you took to frame Eden.
I never thought of Eden. All I thought of was myself. And I thought of Brandon and everything that I had fought for. Eden, I can't expect you to understand. But I am so sorry. God, if I could only get you to believe that.
And you knew. You knew all along that it wasn't me. And you let me believe that I was the one who did it. Every time you wanted me to think that you were the only one that understood. The only one that protected me. I was totally dependent on you. I was this frightened, helpless wife. And when you thought I was getting too confident, you sent me blackmail notes, right? Oh, what a stroke of genius. Make me too frightened and then keep coming to my rescue. After all, what's a loving husband for? Right?
I didn't agree to stay for lunch.
You're not going to let it go to waste.
Why do you do this, Mason?
Do what?
Why do you concoct these elaborate devices to make me feel guilty for leaving?
Just a bowl of soup.
Yeah, except that I bet that you ordered souffle for dessert.
And they said it would take 45 minutes. I told them make it an hour and a half and you got a deal.
I'm not staying here an hour and a half.
Why not?
Because I have to get back to the clinic.
I bet they said that everything was fine there.
Yeah.
So, relax.
I can't relax, Mason. I have to be on the alert. I never know what you're going to do next.
How's the soup?
It's very fine. You think that you can get me talking a little bit, and then have a little bit of soup, and the next thing I know, the whole afternoon is gone.
Is that how I operate?
Oh, that's how you operate. I ought to know.
That makes me sound pretty unethical.
You said it, not me.
Well, I could have had us picked up and dropped off somewhere terribly remote where no one would ever find us. Do you prefer jungle or desert?
Neither.
Just a game. Humor me.
Well, then, see, the jungle, you never know what you're going to run into in the jungle.
Mm-mm.
Boa constrictors, man-eating cats.
Spiders.
Spiders. Whereas the desert, of course, you can You can see what's coming,
You like to be prepared.
don't you?
Yeah. Is that your only reason for choosing the desert?
You obviously think I have another reason.
Oh, I don't know. There's something about the allure of a silken tent out in the middle of nowhere. You and somebody else all by yourselves, out under the stars. What could be more romantic?
I wasn't thinking of that.
It's all I can think about.
Don't.
Not asking me to forget the most perfect night of my life.
It was perfect. Doesn't mean it's supposed to last.
You don't mean that.
How is it, Mason, that you always know what I mean better than I do?
Because I know you, Mary. I know everything about you. Except why you keep running away.
You know, you said that we weren't going to talk about that, and you worked the conversation around so that we can't talk about anything else.
Guess that's another strike against me in the unethical column.
Well, I'm sure it was unintentional.
Not on your life.
How could you do that to me? What was the point?
It was because I loved you.
You don't do that to someone you love. Everything between us was a lie. Everything. How could you live that way?
It was worth it. Just to feel close to you, Eden. And to feel like you needed me.
It's a sick need. And I was grateful to you because you didn't hate me the way I hated myself. I was grateful to you. But I never loved you. Not for 1 minute. Not even in the beginning.
I believe you. Santana? My wife has never stopped lusting after your husband. And I really don't believe she ever will. You know, it's going to be really easy for him right now with me out of the picture, so I'd be very careful if I were you. Because now they can meet whenever they want. Well, you just live out your life in your little dreamland.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Really? Well, you're not the only one who's blind here. Everyone in this room right now. You're all deluding yourselves. Ted? Always wanting to be man enough to stand up to your father, but never willing to take the first step? And speaking of fathers, Cece, you always talk about this family like it's some kind of a sacred refuge. When everyone knows that the only thing sacred to Cece Capwell is something with a dollar sign on it!
Have we heard enough, Cruz?
Yeah, I think we have.
No! No, I just want to say goodbye to Gina first, if that's okay. Look at you. Are you really going to beg for forgiveness from these people, Gina? Do you really want to live among these hypocrites? Just gonna strip you down again? Let's take a walk. I'm gonna make a perfect Capwell someday, you know? Cruz. Got that face that you show to the outside world, and then the other one inside of you. That one's not very pretty, is it? The honorable family member, the honorable public servant, and all this time, honorably lusting after another man's wife.
I'm going to have one of the sheriff's men book you and see that you get transported back to Santa Barbara for arraignment. Let's go.
Cruz, wait. What about Gina?
What about her?
Aren't you going to arrest her, too?
Aren't you? I'm going to deal with you right now.
What about her? You are going to have her arrested, aren't you?
Remember?
I remember. So beautiful.
So are the memories. In case you've forgotten.
I'm not likely to forget.
I'm not either.
It was a very important time when we were here together. Why did you bring me here today?
I only promised that I wouldn't talk about it. And I haven't. This place is about us, Mary. I want you to hold on to it. Don't ever forget it. And I want you to know that it can always be that way for us if we want it to be. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
And listen closer. I love you, Mary. I love you, and I always will.
You're here? I can't believe you're here. You're sitting at home as if nothing has happened?
I don't understand.
Pearl, do you know
What's the
how
matter?
long I waited for you? I'll tell you, an hour. An hour I stood around fending off waiters, telling them that my escort would be arriving any minute.
Oh, my God. The restaurant.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It slipped my mind.
Oh, you forgot?
Yeah.
You just forgot?
Look, I was tracking down a lead for Julia.
Don't even start about Julia. Don't even start. Don't you think it's bad enough that you're spending every waking moment being her slave?
I'm just trying to help out a friend.
Yeah, and when it comes to the old friend and the new friend, the old friend wins out every time.
Courtney, my brain went on a little catnap. I forgot. That's all. I'll make it up to you. We'll go someplace right now.
No, don't be silly. I wouldn't want to take you away from your
Wait a
new
minute.
work.
It's only a week away from the trial. Now I got to do some work here.
Well, you're not even being paid for this, so why are you breaking your back over it?
It's very simple. I am not convinced that David did it. That's all.
Well, I don't care what you think about David. That's not the issue.
Excuse me. Would you mind telling me what the issue is?
The issue is the fact that you have this burning loyalty to Julia. Now, I don't know why, but do you think that she cares? No, she all takes it for granted.
Well, so maybe she does. What's the diff?
I guess that she's very glamorous to you, you know, soft on the outside and tough as nails on the inside, you know, spewing out all these legal terms that the rest of us can't even understand.
Courtney, what is this?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd like to know, so why don't you tell me?
What do you want to know? Tell you why.
Pearl, I can't believe that you would work this hard. I can't believe that you would work this hard and forget about a lunch date if Julia was just an old friend. Now, if she's something more, that's fine, but I would just like to know.
Why?
Because maybe I have a vested interest here. Okay? Maybe I'd like to think that you would forget about a lunch date with someone else for me.
Courtney, I don't have any lunch dates with anybody else, but if I did, you could make me forget him in a minute.
Don't tease me.
No, I'm not teasing you.
Oh, Pearl. Do you know what I keep thinking about? Right after Madeline was murdered, I was scared and confused, and you put your arms around me, and you told me you'd keep me safe. I took that very seriously.
I meant it very seriously.
Well, has something changed since then?
Changed? What do you mean?
I want to know how you feel about me.
About time to break up this little party, folks.
Well, what are you waiting for? Arrest her.
First, I need to be sure that we know what we're doing here.
She tried to kill you.
She just said so. Don't they arrest people for doing things like that anymore?
Right now, I feel arresting her would be almost too kind.
You are all talking like she's some kind of monster. She's trying to make up for what she did. She saved Eden's life in the boathouse, and today, risking her own. Doesn't that mean anything?
That doesn't absolve her from attempted premeditated murder.
Now, wait a minute. You wouldn't have known anything if I hadn't have played that tape for Eden. And I came forward myself. Nobody forced me. I did it voluntarily. I decided I had to let Eden know what Kirk was up to. And I would have come forward a lot sooner, but Kirk was threatening me. I had to make sure that Brandon was safe, and as soon as I found that out, I came forward and I told her everything.
Yes, Daddy, she did. It doesn't change a thing. That's the way I felt at first. I thought that Gina should have to pay for what she did. That granted, she saved my life at the boathouse, but she also saved her own. But today is different.
How, baby?
Because I told Gina that I was going to turn her in. And when she saw Kirk was going to kill us, she risked her own life and she saved ours.
That really happened?
Eden and I would both be dead if it wasn't for Gina. That's the basic truth.
I'm not saying that we should have to forgive her for what she did to you, Daddy. But I don't want revenge. I don't think we should press charges.
This is insane.
Santana, why can't we just let it end here?
Because it's not right. It's not justice. We can't close our eyes and pretend that there was no crime that was committed.
Cruz, say something. You can't agree to this. Has she tried to contact you since she arrived in town?
Sheila? No, I told you we were never close. I mean, she was just a connection in the import-export business. Our companies had dealings together, and we were close that way, but that's all.
It's not unusual to have a romantic involvement with a business associate. I mean, it happens every day.
Well, it didn't happen for Sheila. Don't you think I would have told you?
No, I hope so.
Oh, wait a minute, you told me I had to be completely honest with you, and I have been.
Good.
Because if I thought you didn't believe me...
I do believe you. I just had to ask, that's all. This is a nice room.
It's just like any other hotel room. But it's a lot less cold and unwelcoming now that you're here.
I wanted
look, can
to
I get you... Oh, can I get...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I get you some wine or some soda, maybe?
No, thank you.
Please, just sit down.
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
You didn't want to come here, did you?
Oh, I never said that.
Well, what is it? Am I taking you away from your work?
No, yes. No. No, I didn't really want to come here. I didn't think it was a very good idea. I mean, what if somebody saw us? I mean, it wouldn't look good for either one of us. I mean, I'm your attorney. For heaven's sakes, you're my client. This is supposed to be business. I mean, well, this is business. It's just that it's... Shut up, Julia.
I suppose it was just a matter of time before I made you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry for that. It's just... You're so beautiful. I tried for a long time not to notice. Look, please don't think that I expect anything from you now because I said that.
I don't think that you expect anything from me. I'm sorry. I'm nervous. It's been a long time since I've been alone with a very attractive man in his hotel room. You see, I think you're very attractive, too. There. I said it. Now that I've said it, we can just leave it there and move on.
Don't mess with the lawyer-client.
That's right. That's right, because if we do, then I lose my objectivity, and then I can't defend you properly.
Is that the only reason?
That and I'm scared to death.
Of me?
Of me. Of me. Of anybody. I haven't exactly had the Midas touch when it comes to relationships. Not that this is a relationship. It's not. It's business.
We're in big trouble, huh?
Oh, I think we're in really big trouble. I can't do this.
You can't stop it. It's already begun.
I don't think this is up to Cruz, Santana. The wrong was done to my father and me. I think that we should be the ones to decide what happened.
I just want to know what he thinks. I can't believe that he doesn't have an opinion.
No, I have plenty of opinions, Santana, but this is a difficult situation.
You willing to go along with whatever Eden says?
I'm thinking about Brandon. Now, if she's prosecuted, he's going to hear every sordid detail. What do you think that's going to do to him? What do you think it would do to any kid to hear that his mother tried to kill his father?
If it's the truth, then it's the truth. What has hurt Brandon are all the lies that he's been told, and Gina's told most of them.
No, I never wanted to hurt Brandon.
No, you have hurt Brandon. You've put his life in jeopardy. Now, if we let you go free, you'll try to get back into his life and hurt him all over again.
No, I won't.
You'll try to get Brandon back. I know you.
I won't this time, Santana. I know he's happy with you and Cruz. And he finally has a home. Look, I promise I won't interfere.
Gina, if we agree to not prosecute you, will you agree to leave the city?
If those are the conditions.
Now, she said she'd do that before. Dad tried to get her out of town. She always came back.
Ted, I think it's different this time.
Eden, you can't just let this completely go. She almost committed a very serious crime.
Yes, but she failed. Daddy's alive. He's fine. I think she's trying to make up for what she did. She saved my life. She saved Cruz's today.
Does that outweigh 2 attempted murders?
What?
What is it, Gina? Do you think I'd forgotten that you tried to kill me twice?